the side here, you're gonna have your aileron. Your aileron. Let's see. Body. The fuel is gonna look like this. So I think that howdy, and welcome back to another Engineered Sounds ASMR So why don't we start labeling some of the main components of this plane right here. Okay, so starting from the top here. So the engine is going to be inside of this compartment right here. You press this little lever down and it will open it up. And then you have the propeller, which would be on this kind of nose cone right here. So right here, you have the propeller, and I need to make sure that I don't spell anything wrong, because that would be a little embarrassing, not gonna lie. So you have the engine and the propeller. So, and then obviously here are the wings. So you have the leading edge of the wing, which is this front part of, that's what it's called. And then on the side here, you're going to have your aileron, A-I-L-E-R-O-N. And this is going to control your side-to-side movement. And then, so that ends about there. And then right here, you're going to have your flaps. And then at the back here, this part of the assembly. So this part of the assembly is you have the horizontal stabilizer. There's this part right here. And then you have your elevator. Right here, and this controls your pitch, and then it's hard to see right here, but right here is your rudder, R-U-D-D-E-R, and this controls your yaw. Just side to side. Now, as far as the fuel tanks are actually in the wings right here. Fuel tank. So you have one in each side of the wing here. And if I remember correctly, each side holds about 20 gallons. So you have about 40 gallons of fuel here. So from this view, that's about all that we can see. Let me just fold this guy up so we have a better view of the other diagram. So here is your side view and your front view. So you have your propellers right here. And then the Cessna 150 has this tricycle gear design. So these are your landing gear. Let's see, and then you have these supports right here that help give stability to the wing. And then down here is a side view, so here was a rudder. And this whole assembly right here. Let's go on the vertical stabilizer. Let's see. And then the main body of the aircraft is the fuselage. I need to make sure they don't spell this wrong. Fuselage. I was definitely going to spell that wrong. So it's Fueselag. So here's a door. Here's a door. Usually there's a little cargo compartment back here. At least on the Cessna 172, where you can put your luggage or whatever else you need to back there. Let's see. So yeah, that is the basics of the Cessna 170 or 150. And then it looks like right here, whatever this cross section is, it's a cross section of this. So point A looks like this. Point B is a little bit bigger. Then you have point C, which starts going into the cockpit. Point D is kind of like the back seat. And then you get to point E, and that's going to the tail of the aircraft. So the cross sections start getting smaller and smaller. So, if we keep looking at this diagram, we can tell the four forces of flight. So, you have your upwards force, which is your lift. Then you have a downwards force, which is your weight. You have a forwards force, which is your thrust. And then you have a backwards force, which is your drag. Now, in order for this plane to fly, all of these forces must be in equilibrium. Or your thrust and lift have to outweigh your weight and drag. So, your force, it is going to be generated by the engine, which then turns the propeller. Giving you thrust. Whenever you have drag, which is caused by the airflow. Over the aircraft. So it can go across the fuselage and cause drag, or it can be over the wings. If it's drag caused by the fuselage, then it's called induced drag. Sorry, not induced drag, it is called parasitic drag. But if the drag caused by the air going over the wing, that is called induced drag, I believe, if I'm thinking correctly. So those are our horizontal forces. And now we have our vertical forces going up and down. So your weight is pretty simple. It's just the weight of the aircraft. So that includes the body, the fuel, the passengers, and any cargo that there may be. And you might know that weight is going to equal your mass times your gravity. And then you have your lift, which the equation for that is a little bit more complicated. I probably won't talk about that. But your lift is generated from your wings. By the air flying over and under the wings, it creates a lifting force, which causes the plane to stay in the air. So let's talk a little bit more about that lifting force. So if we imagine the wing of a plane, such as this, and then the plane is something like that. Excuse my drawing skills here. If we take a cross section, something like this, and we look at the cross section it'll look like some general shape of this. So there are a few things that you can notice here. You can notice that this top half of the wing is much larger in comparison to the bottom half down here. So, if we imagine the airflow flowing over the wing, it's gonna look like this. And then this going over the top. So, as the air moves over or through the wing, it ends up getting split, going over the top and the bottom. So, if you imagine a point here and here, both of these points want to reach the back of the wing at the same time. So what does that exactly mean for it to do this? So that means that this point needs to travel a further distance to get here than at the bottom. So you're going to have a higher speed. But a lower overall pressure in this top zone. But in the bottom zone, the air doesn't have to move as fast to get to the back of the swing. So you're going to have a lower speed. But a higher pressure. And really, what generates this lift is this pressure difference. So you're going to have your high pressure is going to push up on the wing here, because the pressure always wants to kind of equal out. It wants to be in a state of equilibrium. So in order to do that, it must push up on the wing, to try to maintain that equilibrium, which ends up causing your lift here. And this is known as Bernoulli's. Bernoulli's principle. So that is kind of the basic concept of an airplane's lift. So I think that about wraps up this video. There's a little bit of me nerding out about planes, And I know that there are a lot of aviation people out there, so I apologize if I said anything wrong or forgot anything incorrect. If I did, feel free to let me know in the comments. But I hope that you enjoyed this more of a laid back, semi-soft spoken video of me just talking and tracing. If you want me to do more videos like this, make sure to leave a comment and let me know. If you want me to continue doing more of this. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next